Welcome your host, Caddy Frink, as she leads discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
Well, hello. I feel like I've been gone forever. Who's across the table from me?
This is Darnell Cox.
Darnell Cox, the operations manager of Minnesota Recovery Connection, here with Redefining Recovery Revolution. Rah. That was a lot to say in one big statement. If I can make Darnell laugh, life is so good for y'all. Welcome to the show. I think we did a repeat last week, but we're here live and in color this week. So welcome to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. I want to thank some of our funders and our donors, and I forgot my information sheet. So all of you that are out there, I know there's the Amy. There's a lot of wonderful donors, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And my apologies. I got all my other notes here. I'm ready to go. But I'm here with Darnell, and Darnell and I are going to talk about what's going on in the recovery community, all the recovery community organizations that we have. But most importantly, what's right with you today, Darnell?
Well, what's right with me is I'm going to take some nice vacation time over the next week and a half or so. So I'll be out of the office until the 2nd. Give me some time to spend with the families, enjoy the holidays, and get some me time. So I'm excited about that.
Now, I will add that he said, but I'm only a phone call away. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to let you even be a phone call away.
I'm always one phone call away.
That's a dedication to the recovery community, right?
Yes. What's going right with you today, Caddy?
Let's see. What's right with me is that I get to sit across the table from you and laugh and giggle, because I don't get to do that very often. So it makes me happy when you and I can just spend some time. Let's see. We're about ready to embark on the actual Christmas holidays. When you hear this, we will be on the other side of it. But I'm looking forward to getting together with people, friends this holiday season. There's a lot of angst that goes on around the holiday season, and there's a lot of joy that happens. So I'm just really excited to break bread with people this weekend, because I think it'll be very nice. And I've got my health back into place. So that last time we were not here with you because we had a sick office, folks. So everybody, there's just a lot going on. One of the things I was thinking about is that I'm going to hit this up early, and then I'm going to hit it up at the end of the station. What do you think we need most of all in our recovery community with a nonprofit organization, Darnell?
What we need most of all is funding. We need help from generous donors that are willing to help provide funding to support our programs and our causes and our mission, because we can't do this alone without the support of the community. And if you're interested in donating, you can go to our website and you'll see a button right at the top right that says donate. Click that button and fill it out and send it in. And we appreciate every dollar we can get. Anything helps.
Yeah. And we all know we're at the end of the year. And a lot of times people sort of wait till the end of the year to do their donation for their tax implications coming up for tax season in 2025. So if it's something that you feel like you have some extra that you want to give to a cause, we are certainly welcoming to that. Now, Darnell mentioned our website, and I want to, he has done an enormous amount of work on getting our new website up. But what does it look like, Darnell?
It looks amazing. It's wonderful. And I'd like to give a shout out to Capsule. So Capsule was a branding organization in Minneapolis who pro bono did our website, did our branding, rebranded everything. We got new logos, new colors, new look. We're just a whole new face to Minnesota Recovery Connection, which is awesome. Partnered with another organization, which I don't know their name. They did our website. I apologize. Eric and Ann, I'll give you a shout out by name. They did a wonderful job just revamping the website and just giving us the whole new look. And it just went live in the middle of last week. So if you haven't gone on our website, minnesotarecovery.org, go check it out. I'm really excited for the world to see our new face.
Yeah, no, it's really lovely. The colors are new, like you said. And we have like these 4 symbols that are identifying our recovery world. We've always had the green tree, and we've had advocacy, education, and peer-to-peer support, but we actually have these 4 little symbols. One is 2 arrows sort of facing a direction, and that stands for peer-to-peer support. So these 2 arrows are working together. And then we have it looks like a little group of people sitting 4 people at a table. And I call that being at the table. So that's advocacy. It looks really great. And then there's a little space where it looks like a book is opening with a couple of symbols below it. And that's the education part. And that's what Minnesota Recovery Connection and all the recovery community organizations are all about, is that education, advocacy, and peer-to-peer support. And it looks just beautiful.
Looks awesome.
I know, it's so exciting. When it busted loose earlier this week, I came running into Darnell's office saying, "My application for the Recovery Coach Academy is not up." And he's like, I know. He put his hand out and he said, "Look at my laundry list of things that are not working." It was like one of those classic moments, right?
Yeah. Whenever anything goes live, there's some bugs that need to get worked out. And I definitely was on top of that all the end of last week, just making sure everything's fine tuned and ready to go. And I'm confident we're about where we need to be. So
yeah. It was just one of those moments where I got it, Caddy. I got it. I got a lot going on. And it just shows that when given the opportunity to have Capsule, give us that generous opportunity to get more marketing aware and not back into, but actually just updated. We needed a refresh, I think is what the term is, because we are so grateful for the length of time that Minnesota Recovery Connection's been around, but also we haven't done a lot of refresh, and we had this opportunity. So as Darnell said, thank you, Capsule, and all the people that are around that for giving us that. So as Darnell said, I'm just going to keep quoting him. Just go check us out. Also check us out on Facebook. I saw that kind of popped out too.
Oh yeah.
It was just great.
We're
so
changing the logos
everywhere. Yep. Even here at AM 950, the progressive radio station that has we have the honor of being in and at, we're going to give them our logo too. So it's just an exciting time for us. And when we have people that believe in the recovery community, like Capsule does, like donations of people that come in and grants that we can get our hands on, that means that we can do better work, right, Darnell?
Yeah, we can really reach more people, make a big difference and to make an impact into the recovery community.
Mm-hmm. And it's been, it's a year where there's a lot of changes going on in the social services world. And I'm not going to go politics, even though this is the station that would do that. What I want to say is that anybody that's affected by substance use disorder, and particularly if you're in a cultural community, you might feel that the spotlight is on you. But we at our organization and all the other recovery community organizations say, hey, come on. And when we come back, we're going to take a break in a little bit. I want to go through all the recovery community organizations that we have in the state of Minnesota and sort of their secret sauce, because we're at a time of year, we're at a new time of year. All our organizations need support. All the services that are done in the social service realm are always looking for more people to volunteer, be involved, stand up for the recovery community. And, I want to say something to Darnell, because yesterday his lovely partner gave me a call. I was in my car. I was kind of doing some errands. All of a sudden I saw Bree's name come up. I'm like, oh Lord, what's she want now? Because Bree is a ball of energy, isn't she, Darnell?
Oh yeah, she doesn't stop.
She doesn't.
And the 3 kids don't stop.
No, not at all. She's like, hey, Caddy, do you know anybody that needs any help with toys? And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. And I said, once you give somebody a call at the office, I said, I'm not in today. But Bree is a force to be reckoned with.
She was up there. She brought some toys up.
Did she?
She's going to meet Kim too for one of Kim's participants needs toys for their thing. So she got a bunch of Toys for Tots toys that she's just dispersing the individuals. And
she is just, how do you keep up with her, Darnell?
I just let her go.
You just
go, do your thing. I do me. Go ahead, do your thing.
Well, and you should see, if you can hopefully you can see the video of Darnell. He's like, I just let her go because she just keeps on going. Yeah. She just keeps you and those kids running, doesn't she?
Yeah, they're all rolling around today, all of them.
All of them just rolling around town, delivering presents like Santa, right? Yeah, she's a lot. And I just absolutely adore Bree. So thank you, dear. So we'll be back with Redefining Recovery Revolution here on AM 950. My name is Caddy, and who am I with?
I'm Darnell.
Woo! Darnell is here too. We'll catch you up on the other side. Thank you for listening.
Through this year of being alone,
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is Caddy and
This is Darnell.
Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution, right, Darnell?
That's what it is.
That's what it
I was
is.
told.
And that's why he's here. I have a list of all of the recovery community organizations that we have in the state of Minnesota. And one of the things I was thinking about is how much recovery is embedded in communities, but we only see it from a couple of different lights. Did you do AA back in the day?
I did a little bit of NA, little NA for a little bit
NA
of
for a
time. It
while.
just really didn't jive with me. Nothing against it. I know it's a really great program for a lot of individuals. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah. So let's remind the listeners, because maybe your story, it's been a little while. Just give us a little snapshot of how Darnell got to be the operations manager and the operations director,
Yeah.
at Minnesota Recovery Connection. Let's get a little Darnell story.
Yeah. So just to break it down real quick, my drug of choice was methamphetamine. I struggled with it throughout my 20s. Because of that, I was in and out of prison for about 5 or 6 years out of my 20s. During that time, I had a couple children, and I was in and out, and I really wasn't sure what recovery was. I had a little taste of it when I was in prison, but again, I would get back in that revolving door. Since then, I ended up following it Minnesota Recovery Connection because I needed to do some community service hours, and I fell in love with the organization and the mission and the work, and I ended up taking the course and getting hired on as a CPRS, and I took off from there, took on more responsibilities. I'm really been benefit of my life. I can pick up on things really easily, so I was
Thank
able
goodness.
to fill in gaps that needed to get filled, and just kind of fell into this role. So.
Well, I'd say you didn't necessarily fall into it. You had all these qualifications.
Stepped into this role.
Yes.
Is what I did. I stepped in.
Well, and I think we said it before, and that is when we at Minnesota Recovery Connection, when somebody comes in to do community service or comes to do volunteering or come to take the class or just walk in the door and need services. I mean, as simple as and as complex as that, we begin to see people unfold. And that's exactly what happened with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're just like all of these hidden talents that, you come in just sort of, and I think everybody does it. I did it too, way back in the day, just sit in a chair and answer the phone. And it's like, and then we start talking and like all these beautiful things begin to unfold. And that's what's happened, with Darnell. And it's just, what was it last week when I was in class, there was something going on and I could not figure out what was it that it was. Oh, the slides. I had slides in my class that were just like they disappeared. I disappeared them. And somehow I went hunting around and then I called Darnell. I'm like, Darnell. And he's like digging around a little bit. He's like, Hattie, I don't know. And then all of a sudden they just showed up. And I said, Darnell, all you have to do is be in the vicinity of a computer and it all turns out okay. I mean, I have no idea where those slides came from. It's like one of those things.
Me neither.
I know.
They're here. That's all that matters. They came back.
It came back. I mean, it was like miraculous. So I've said to Darnell several times, I'm like, all you have to do is just be present and things turn out better. So thank you for that.
No problem.
But I think that's the amazing thing about when we have people that are in our recovery community, when they find their recovery, they get more and more time thinking straighter. I don't know, something like that. Yeah. Clearer. There we go. Clearer. Yes. Yeah. What happens is that you begin to like identify what you're capable of. Yeah. I'll never forget when we were at the Walk for Recovery 2 years ago, and we're trying to measure out that was too intense.
Trying to find the middle of the tables in the plots, and I'm like, well, on center, you want to put them at 10 foot on center. Like when I used to build houses, we would put the stud 16 on center. So it's like you just measure on center for the tables, and then we're good to go. So. And
I looked at him like, building houses? Seriously? When did this happen? And I mean, that's the fun stuff. Yeah. So, we've all done a bunch of stuff. There's a young man who came into the office today. He was in the class last week. His name is Drew. And kind of just got to know one another in class. It's sort of a limited, but he came in to get his certificate and a certificate for somebody else. And he sort of told me not so much his recovery story, but sort of his work history story. And I just thought, we have so much behind us and so much that we've done. But sometimes when we get lost in that substance use disorder, we just have a hard time like pulling it out of the arsenal. And I think that's that's been fun about you. It's like you've been able to just thrive. Where did you get your computer skills? Where did that come from?
I picked it up along the way. I can pick up on things pretty easily. There's nothing I haven't like tried to do that I wasn't really good at, unfortunately. Not to toot my own horn, but
You toot away, my friend.
I'm just saying, yeah.
You're just a genius. That's what it
I
comes
tend
down
to
to.
pick up on stuff really easily. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness for you. That's all I got to say. And I want to give Darnell so much of a shout out because he's been such an incredible, I want to say gift, but also skill set that's come. And when recovery community organizations like we have all through the state begin to open up and find their, I call it their secret sauce, there are people and places and things that can help people. What are a couple of the recovery community organizations that you might send people to either in the cities or around the state?
I know like if somebody's in the St. Cloud area, RCN, that's a go-to. You got RAD up in Duluth. You have in the Twin Cities here, there may be TCRP could be an option.
Twin Cities Recovery Project.
Yep, Twin Cities Recovery Project. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, there's a lot of RCOs. Actually, it's funny because when I was doing the website, just updating everything, I didn't realize there were so many RCOs around in the area.
I know. I know that there were just because of all of the training that we do. And I actually brought a list and I actually want us to mention them and maybe what we know about the particular ones that we're going to talk about, maybe what their special focus is. So it's alphabetical. So I just handed a sheet off to Darnell. So I don't know what he's got.
You got me at the back end here.
I got you at the back end. You got the W's. Okay. Well, we can share. So there is an organization called the African American Survivors Services. They have really done a lot of good advocacy for the recovery community, for the African American Black community, in the fact that they're very driven and focused on the AA program and the NA program, and that's just fine. That's great. They honor all pathways, but this is an organization that was started by a group of people of a particular culture, and they are there not specifically, but are looking at trying to help people who are coming through possibly the hardest of times. And that's been really great. They're located on Dale Street in Minneapolis. And again, what we're doing is I want to just sort of identify all the different help that's out there. Because a lot of times, what do people say that you should go do when you're trying to find a recovery? What's the thing they say?
You get out there. You should go find an organization, go find help.
Yeah,
find
but
connection.
It's typical AA meeting, NA meeting, it's like just go find a meeting.
AA meeting,
yeah. And I want everybody to know that neither one of us are trashing that. You've heard me say that a million times, but there are so many organizations that can do even more than that, because what they're doing is they're trying to help people see what recovery can look like for them. What's one that you have on your list?
I have Recovery in the Woods. And what I know about Recovery in the Woods, I think they branched off of Wellness in the Woods. And they're mainly virtual, which is a benefit. If you log on their website, they have like virtual peer support, virtual recovery meetings, also other like virtual group events type deal. They have a whole event calendar. If you want to check that out, if you're in a rural area, I know I've recommended this to a couple individuals that are in a rural area where they maybe aren't able to be around an RCO that they can drop in, they can reach out virtually. So that's really a benefit.
And I think one of the things that happens with people who are in their recovery journey, they might not have transportation because they don't have their driver's license. So there might be limited mobility that takes place as well. So yeah, that's really great. I have, let's see, Against All Odds, Recovery and Reentry. I will be honest, I don't know a lot about them. Do you know a lot about them? They're located in Carver County area. And what I have heard is that they, when we say reentry, we're talking about those who are coming into the community from the justice impacted. And some of these organizations, if I don't know enough, I apologize. But the thing is that they come in and they have this laser focus on something. And when somebody says that they are doing recovery against all odds and reentry, they're really meeting people at a very potentially tough space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's another one you have on your list?
Recovery is Happening. And they're down in Rochester.
Yeah, Rick, Rochester has two different ones. Recovery is Happening is a really strong organization. It's been around for quite a while down in Rochester. They do some training. They are really invested in the community down there. There's Docs Recovery, which I'll get to at some point. But when there's several organizations inside a specific city or community, what it helps is that there's always a different flavor, just like we're different from TCRP, Twin Cities Recovery Project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it adds a little bit of extra help. Let's see, who do I have? Amethyst Recovery Solutions. What do you know about Amethyst? I got my own piece of knowledge. You tell
know
me.
Amethyst is they do a lot. They have a lot of peer recovery services. I know they have housing, sober living, and I believe it's paid for board and lodging facility. They also, what I hear is they either are opened up or are opening up a treatment center.
Yeah, it's kind of the rumor on the streets, isn't it?
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah. No, Amethyst has got some really good juju going around on them. They are doing a lot of peer recovery services work as well. And they were birthed out of doing fitness in the recovery community. It was a couple of the guys, I can't remember their names. They got together just doing sports together, and it sort of grew out of that sort of love and that need in the community, kind of like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, we get to share information, Darnell.
Yeah.
But that's really kind of where they came from. So it's interesting how a germ can turn into something much more than just, let's just all get clean. Let's all just get sober. It's like, let's do more and let's involve ourselves.
It's about building that community, building that connection, and it grows and grows and grows. When somebody sees things going on and people together and having fun and communing, it's like you just start gravitating to it, and it's a snowball.
Yeah, no, I like that term gravitating, because that's what happens is when you start to build some energy around something. What else you got on your list? What do you have over there?
I have Rise Up Recovery. I don't know much about Rise Up. I know they are in Hastings, and that's probably all I got. What do you got?
They are a smaller organization. Rise Up has done, they've also done some, I believe they've done some training. They work with, they do helpful in housing down in that area, if I remember correctly. And the thing about it is that when you have Hastings isn't big, it isn't small, it's sort of a decent sized city. And what I'll keep saying, and I'll say until I never say it again, that is when you have an alternative to some of the traditional models, that's why we're talking about this. Because if you know somebody who is struggling with substance use disorder, they're in Hastings, they're in Rochester, they're here in the cities. Hey, there's this thing I heard about, this place where they talk about recovery and you get to kind of do it your own way. That's really what it's about. So if I don't have much to say, I can say things like that. Let's see. Anything helps. Oh, my. Gotta love some Anything Helps. What do you know about Anything Helps?
I know Anything Helps. They're in Minneapolis. They have a drop-in center, I believe, around Fremont, right?
39th and Fremont. Yep. North.
They're heavy in the opioid prevention.
Mm-hmm.
You can drop in and get harm reduction supplies and that type of stuff. And that's about all I got.
Okay, well, I'll fill in the blanks on that one. Anything Helps. Emmanuel Roberts is the executive director, and he is a powerhouse in the recovery community. He's one of those community builders. He's one of those people that just goes out and makes a connection, makes a connection. And as you said, they do. They have harm reduction supplies. What's nice about Anything Helps is that it is a building that got built and put together about, I think it's almost 2 years ago now, and they actually have wound care things for harm reduction, but they also have for those who are living without homes or those who are struggling or those just need some help. They've got washers, they've got dryers, they've got showers, they've got a kitchen that there's usually some sort of something to nibble on. And they have just sort of a crash place too, where if you just don't want to be out on the street, you want to talk to somebody, there are individuals there that you can talk to. And they offer peer-to-peer services as well. Emmanuel is having what we call a harm reduction summit coming up on January 12th. If anybody's interested and you want to know more about harm reduction, he's the man. He went to, I think Detroit had a national summit.
They did, yeah.
Do you know anything about that summit?
I don't. I know he went there as
well.
well.
Yeah, we're both like, we're just pulling it out of our, aren't we? But I know he went, and it was a national convention talking about harm reduction. And so he brought a lot of that information back to the Twin Cities. It's an area that people have a little bit of a struggle with harm reduction, because they think, oh, you're just giving them the things that they need to continue to do their drugs.
Yeah, there can be some misconception that it's it's enabling the
Mhm.
situation, but in truth, it's a life saving form of a pathway towards recovery where individuals can use safely until they're ready to define that recovery, to find their way, because you can't save somebody when they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, famous words of the video. Yeah. Let's see, what else do you have on your list? Who do you have there?
So I have Social Services of Minnesota. I don't know much about them at all. They're in St. Paul, off of Dayton.
Social, are they the
They do peer support, I believe.
okay? Are they okay? We're both struggling on this one. Should have done a little bit more investigation, Caddy.
I will be sure to do some more research. Social Services of Minnesota. Shout out to Social Services.
This is Minnesota. Oh, you got this. Let's see. Begin anew. I know about that one. So Justin McNeil, a former employee and director at Minnesota Recovery Connection, went to Begin Anew, which was sort of in a transitional phase. What do you know about Begin Anew?
I know that they are heavily involved in training the peer support workforce and like CEUs. They have the background in the justice involved sector, helping individuals that are reentering into the society. Of course, Justin McNeil, he teaches the forensic endorsement class over there, which is really teaches individuals who have that justice involved background to use their peer support to work within that field, individuals that may be reentering or still incarcerated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, we do that as well. No, I think the interesting thing is that Justin left Minnesota Recovery Connection to go broaden his horizons. And he went in, and there was a huge, shall we say, kerfuffle that happened at one point, but he's been able to pull it back, and to no fault of his own. They just had a financial swing in the nonprofit world, and he's been able to redirect that. And, I can say that I'm proud of him, because I remember he was just a young little pup when he was a navigator, the first navigator at MRC. Yeah. And so he's just really put his lived experience into that community and into our community, and really, invested in the people that struggle with justice impacted backgrounds. So it's really great. Who else you got over there?
I got We Recovery Beyond Brink, and they're in Mankato. And I know they do some housing, peer support. Brandy Brink is the executive director, and that's about all I got.
Brandy Brink is the executive director. She started out with recovery, and then, as you just said, she's gone into housing. She's gone into doing trainings. She's doing peer recovery specialist work. She's been a force of nature down in that part of the state of Minnesota, because there isn't much down in the southwest corner. And I think what she's also been able to do is turn on a light to the fact that when you are talking and walking and helping the community, what happens is that people will respond. And she's been very successful with her housing. And the more people that you have that can find a place to lay their head and find their recovery, the better we are. And you don't mess with Brandy Brink. She's all that in a bag of chips. She also got herself a not a what is it when you have a farm, but it's a
hobby farm?
Hobby farm. Yeah, she's got a hobby farm. That's been like a new passion of hers. I've caught up on her on Facebook. She's got some great cows and some goats and some critters. You do you, sister. Yeah. No, I'm all about that. Yes. So let's see. I've got Community and Life Services. This is in Pelican Rapids, another small recovery community organization. I know our team went out there to evaluate how they were going to do services, and again, small community. Building a recovery community organization, bring to light what's going on and how people can look at recovery differently. I think they do real limited work doing peer recovery services, but they're just educating that community up there. So, and we have our office up in Pelican Rapids, don't we?
We have an office in Moorhead.
No, the other one. Where's Marie?
Oh, that's in Long Prairie.
Long Prairie. Okay, well, yeah. I'm a Minneapolis.
It's getting
girl.
that direction. You're getting.
We're getting that way. Yes. What else do you have over there?
So I actually skipped one. So we got bounce back at Thrive Family Recovery Resources. Old Thrive.
Old Thrive. You know
Yeah.
about Thrive?
I know a little bit about Thrive. I know they focus on family peer supports involving the whole family. Pam Lamhart is the executive director. They're in Egan. That's about all I got.
And that's just great. And I think that's interesting because Pam came through Minnesota Recovery Connection, did the training with us, and she wanted to turn a twist of light on it because she lost a young person in her life to substance use disorder. And she wanted to change the not change the focus, have a focus on the family and how the family can help recover without feeling as though they're lost in the cycle of all this, because that's really what can happen, is that a family doesn't know what to do when a child or a young adult, or even an adult they just don't know what to do as a family member. And that's where her focus is. Molly Sinclair came from Thrive, so she was working there as a family, and then she came to Minnesota Recovery Connection because she wanted to work with peers and do her own work. So it's interesting how we all just sort of run around the recovery community a little bit.
All connected.
It's all connected, building that community. Damascus Way.
I know a little bit about Damascus
Tell
Way.
me, please.
So I know they involve reentry. I know they have reentry housing, employment development classes. A lot of individuals coming out of the DOC will go to Damascus Way.
Department of Corrections.
Yep.
Okay, so, and that's what I thought I knew, but I didn't know enough to be dangerous. They're located down in Richfield. But yeah, they found their special space where they can step in and help out. I got Docs Recovery here, which we've already talked about. Who else do you have on your list?
I got one more. I got Will Work for Recovery, and I believe they're in Minneapolis. I don't know much about them though.
Okay.
To be honest. I went by there once.
Okay, well, where are they?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, they're in Minneapolis.
They're in Minneapolis,
yeah, and they do work with people trying to get back onto their recovery journey from a work perspective, is what I'm remembering.
Sure.
See, y'all, these organizations open up, and sometimes we don't always know what they're doing, but what they do, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is when you find somebody who is hurting and you want to help them, we've got Richfield, we've got Minneapolis, we've got Rochester, we've got St. Paul, we've got Minneapolis, we've got Baxter, Minnesota. We've got places all over. And if you ever are looking for people, places for people to go, Lighthouse Beginnings, this one I'm very familiar with. The woman who is running this organization, I met her at a conference. She took the class from Minnesota Recovery Connection. They're working on growing a larger peer base, peer-to-peer services base. And because they're in Baxter, a smaller community as well, they do a little bit of housing, and they're trying to just really help people believe that you don't have to do recovery the same way. And the smaller communities, I just want them all to hear, who's ever listening, there's so many different ways that you can do recovery. We don't have to always do it the same way. And that was the wonderful conversation I had with the executive director. Cannot remember her name to save my soul, but that's okay. Who else you got? Anybody else?
That's my list.
That's your list. Yeah. Okay, what do I have here? Minnesota Prevention and Recovery Alliance.
I believe they focus on youth peer support. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Isn't that Teen Challenge?
No, I think Teen Challenge started them with the Know the Truth. They did the Know the Truth where they go around to high schools telling their stories, their testimonies, and
okay.
I believe it kind of grew from that. So it was a branch off of Teen Challenge.
Teen Challenge, okay.
Organization.
Yeah, that's what I sort of remembered too. So Minnesota Prevention, they're located on Portland. So again, another organization that found a little special space where they can fit in. And before we get to a break, I'm going to go Minnesota Hope Dealers. I'm going to save that one because he's got a particularly interesting story. So again, what we're trying to do is educate you. Possibly not the best education because I don't know all the secret sauce about all these organizations. A lot of them have been around, as a lot of them are new. And it's all this different kind of recovery that people can find in the communities in which they live in. Darnell's giving me his smirk. So we're about ready to take a break. And whenever he smirks, I have to laugh. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution. My name is Katty Frank. And
this is Darnell. We'll be right back.
There you go. Thank you.
There's no home. And there's one thing that I've learned through this year of being alone.
Got that bopping music in your ear. Here we are. My name is Katty Frink. I am your host of Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution. We are just running through with knowledge and hope and a whisper of optimism, right? To all the organizations in the Twin Cities.
For sure.
Yeah. Hope Dealers. Are you familiar with JP Powell?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah,
What do you know about JP?
I know that he's the executive director at Hope Dealers. So I can tell you that.
So JP, since I have been around the recovery community, JP came through Minnesota Recovery Connection doing the training, and he had this dream about doing Hope Dealers, and it's DEALERZ, and boy, that autocorrect wants to constantly take that Z away. And he was a organization that didn't have a space for a long time. So we did some trainings at ICCM. Cannot remember that. It's a community church right off of 19th and Park, Portland. Can't remember. Portland, I think. And that's where Alicia Dottie came from his class way back in the day. Yeah. So JP, you know, what I can say about him is that I admire his dedication to the recovery community and overcoming his justice impact background. He's been to college now. I believe he has a master's. He has really moved himself along. He's been just dedicated to the recovery community all over the place. He got himself now a brick and mortar place, which I'm super excited. He's doing peer-to recovery services. He's doing a little bit of training. He's just getting out there. And every now and then he calls me, Katty, am I doing this the right way? And I'm like, yes, you are, friend. Yes, you are. Hey, where do we work and what do we do? Who's that Minnesota Recovery Connection?
Oh, that's us.
Is that?
We're in, St. Paul off of 800 Transfer Road. We do a lot of peer recovery support. We do training and advocacy. We have the Justice Involved program, working with individuals in the DOC, training them to be peer recovery specialists. We do a lot of stuff. Katty, what do you do at Minnesota Recovery Connection?
Well, one of the things that we can do at Minnesota Recovery Connection is give people an opportunity to volunteer, which is how you got your start, actually, how I got my start. See, and that's the essence of this organization, when they're truly a ground level walk in, what can we do for individuals? And, you know, we've got telephone recovery support, which is a great community support. People can sign up to get a phone call a day at a time, and a volunteer will call and just check in and say how they're doing. The other day, there was a young woman who came in. Tell a quick story about the young woman in the car situation. I can elaborate on it.
So she came in and it sounded like she's having a really rough day. She locked her keys in her car. She wasn't coming to our offices. I think she was going to the DMV, something to do with getting the title transferred over. She came and asked if we could help her get in her car. I ended up having to help her get into that car. It took a little while, but as she sat in the office, got some coffee, got to talking, and she ended up meeting with one of our navigators and kind of just outlining what it looks like in her recovery. And it was I feel like it turned her day around. You could see the difference in her face, when we were able to help her and no judgment and give her what she needed.
Yeah. It was one of those moments where you're just so grateful that our door was open, and it happened to be, she literally walked in and didn't know where she was, and you were able to get into her car, listen to her. I sat down and listened to her for a little bit, and she just needed to kind of vent a little bit because she had a lot of complicated things going on. And then I said, you know what? I think we'll just take this another step further. And so had her meet up with Josie, and they talked for, I think, 3 hours. I mean, they just were, and Josie walked out going, boy, I'm really glad my person at 11 canceled, because that was great. And I was like, yes, it is. And so that's what we do at Minnesota Recovery Connection. I don't want to not talk about Recovery Alliance Duluth. Celie Dudley and I can't remember her co-chairperson at Recovery Alliance Duluth. They sort of took over as we'll call it the executive team.
McCoy, is it? Is it McCoy?
No, it's not McCoy. I'm running a blank. But, our organizations, people leave, people come, they go, they move on, they do things. And Celie is kind of taking the the straps of that organization and figuring out its next path. But Celie has been so passionate about the north part of this country, this state. Yeah, country. Well, country too. We'll give her all kinds of credit. But she just wants people to find recovery. As an African American woman too, she's like, everybody deserves recovery. And in that community, she has said out loud that there aren't a lot of women that look like her and sound like her that feel comfortable. And obviously, or I will say for sure, Recovery Alliance Duluth welcomes all. But it was interesting when she sort of like let that out, that she felt alone, and now she's building a recovery community with all community. And it's like, and you want to talk about events, those people up there, they got events happening every weekend. They're just absolutely marvelous at building that recovery community. And then you had mentioned Recovery Community Network up in St. Cloud.
Yeah.
That organization was started by a veteran. And so they focus not specifically, but have a little special sauce helping the veteran community. Katie Blue, who is the executive director, she herself is a veteran. And so that's just a space that they can hold for the community around that, because we do know that I believe it's 22 veterans die a day to suicide and substance use disorder and justice impact, and all those different complicating factors is something that they can help people with in that community as well. So if that wasn't a laundry list,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot going on in the state.
And more probably.
And more, yes. So these are the recovery community organizations, the nonprofits that deal with peer-to-peer support, advocacy, and education. I almost forgot education. What do I do every other week, Darnell?
Educate.
I educate people.
That's what you do.
And that is the whole essence of what we want people to hear about this conversation, about every conversation, is the incredible story of Darnell, the story that I had. We both walked in the doors, not exactly sure why, what, where, when, or how, but then all of a sudden these careers can be built and the community can be built. And what do you want to say as your parting words to the beautiful people that are listening?
I will say, if you visit Marco's website, you can see a whole list of all the.
Who's Marco?
Marco is Minnesota's Alliance of Recovery Community Organizations. It's marcomn.org would be the website. You can find a list of all the RCOs in Minnesota. Similar list that we had right now, have websites, contact information, all that, so you can get connected with the RCO in your area.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the web is wonderful in every way. You can always go to our website too and find out the things that we do with our brand new look, brand new marvelousness out there with our new colors, with pink, blue, and
blue, orange, and navy blue.
Navy blue. Okay. So if you go into our website now, you're going to go, oh, what's that? There's no green tree there.
It's different.
It looks different. It looks spiffy. Spiffy as all get out. So you've got how many days off do you have, Darnell?
I don't even know. I didn't count. I'll be back in a second. Whatever that is. The Friday, so till next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're just gonna
days straight, I think.
I don't know what you're gonna. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm one call away. Give me a call.
No. We're gonna make sure that you get to stay.
We'll see how many calls I get.
We know there's some people that might be calling you. But it's really important that, if Sarah were here, sitting here, what she's saying. What is she saying?
Take care of yourself.
Self-care. Got to do that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Now you do have three lovely little humans running around. We've got the holidays about us. Are you going to be having a lot of activities going on?
Oh yeah, you know how that goes. I'm really opening presents. We're having my brother's family's coming over on Christmas Day, and Bree's parents and everything will open gifts. Actually, the kids are going to their grandparents tonight, so we can clean up the house and get everything ready for having guests over. So that'll be nice to get rid of them for a night.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Just you time. Well, that's great. We will miss you at the office, but we have to take time off and time away to rest and relax and rejuvenate. Well, for all of you that are going to be listening to this show, I hope your holiday season is good. We'll catch you probably next year. No, we're going to have this is going to be on at the end of just before Christmas and New Year's. So then we'll have a New Year's conversation, right, Darnell, of some kind. So
good.
All of you take good care of yourself. Remember that Minnesota Recovery Connection is there for you. Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution, here with myself and Darnell are here to wish you a very happy and merry and be well. Thank you.